You open your banking app at 11:52 at night, half asleep. There's a line at the very bottom you've never once actually read. Interest charged today, $1.58. You almost laugh at how small it looks. Then tomorrow it charges again on a number that's now slightly bigger. And the day after that, it's bigger still. That little line never sleeps, even though you always do. Right now, everyone watching this splits cleanly into two camps. Either that little line is taking money out of your life every night, or it's putting money in. For most people watching, it's taking. There's no third group standing off to the side. The same exact force is running underneath both kinds of people, and it chose its side a very long time ago. Here's the part that nobody actually tells you. Compound interest doesn't care whether you're responsible or reckless. It only cares which end of it you happen to be standing on, and the machine mostly decides which end you get born onto in the first place. Subscribe, because there's a single moment on this ladder where that daily line flips from red to green. Most people never climb high enough to feel that flip happen to them. So let me climb the whole thing for you. Quick thing before we climb. I put together a free cheat sheet for this whole ladder, every rung and the exact mechanism hiding under it. It's waiting for you in the description and the pinned comment. Go grab it after. Now, let's climb. Let's start down where you started. Your net worth sits right around zero, maybe even a little under it. You're carrying $2,400 on a credit card. Not because you did anything careless. The car needed a timing belt, and the rent didn't care about your feelings that month. The rate printed at the top of the statement says 22%. That's the yearly number they show you. But the card doesn't politely wait a year to collect on it. It compounds every single day. Every night around midnight, fresh interest gets stacked onto what you already owe. The next night, you pay interest on top of that interest. Your debt is out there earning money for somebody, every night, just never once for you. The bank politely calls it your balance. It behaves a lot more like their paycheck. By now you're thinking that surely can't add up to much. So go ahead and run the numbers. You put $2,400 on that card at 22% and pay only the minimum each month. You stay chained to it for well over a decade. By the very end, you hand the bank more in pure interest than the entire amount you first borrowed. Here's the mechanism they'll never print on your statement. Bankers use a little shortcut called the rule of 72. You take 72 and divide it by the interest rate. That tells you how many years it takes a balance to double. At 22%, your debt doubles in a little over 3 years. Your paycheck never moves that fast, and most years it barely moves at all. And you are very far from alone down here. Americans are collectively sitting on more than $1 trillion in credit card debt right now. Most of it's compounding at rates a lot like yours, every night, in the dark. Miss one payment and a late fee lands on top, then that fee compounds too. So at the very bottom, compounding isn't a wonder of anything. It's a current in the water, and it pulls against you the entire time you sleep. The truly cruel part comes when you climb one rung up. You think you've finally swum clear of the current. Then you find the same machine just changed how it bills you. Now jump. You're 35 years old now. You own a house, you've got a retirement account, and you honestly feel like you finally made it. The salary has roughly tripled by now. There's about $48,000 sitting inside a 401k, and it's growing every month. For the first time in your life, compounding looks like it finally joined your side. Except look a little closer at the single biggest number in your entire life, the mortgage. You borrowed $320,000 on that house at 7%. The payment runs around $2,130 every month, and you feel deeply responsible each time it clears. Here's what the bank very carefully doesn't circle for you. In the early years of that loan, the bulk of every payment, often north of 80% of it, is nothing but pure interest. You're barely touching the actual house yet. That structure is not an accident or an oversight. It's called amortization, and it gets engineered on purpose, entirely in the bank's favor. The lender front loads its own compounding, collecting the most interest early, back while your balance is still sitting at its absolute highest. You pay off nearly all of the interest long before you own barely any of the walls around you. So yes, technically your retirement account is compounding for you now. But quietly, in the background, you're still paying more compound interest to that bank than your investments are earning back for you. You're running net negative and feeling wealthy the entire time you do it. By now you're thinking you just need to out-earn the whole thing and the math will eventually flip on its own. It won't, not at this level of the ladder. The middle is the exact tier where compounding runs in both directions at once, and the bank's direction is still the one winning. The people standing one rung above you stopped handing a slice of every gain back to the government each year. That one change is what finally tips the whole machine in their favor. Skip ahead. Your net worth crosses the 2 million mark. And right here's where the machine finally changes sides for you. You've got real money parked in index funds now. You've also got accounts where the government agrees to let your gains pile up completely untaxed until the day you actually touch them. The credit card current is finally gone. Nothing is eating the front end of a mortgage anymore. For the first time in your whole life, the whole force is finally at your back. Remember the rule of 72 from the bottom. Run it forward this time, with you instead of against you. At a steady 7% return, your money doubles about every 10 years. 2 million turns into 4, then 4 turns into 8. You never lifted a finger except to leave it completely alone, and the leaving it alone is precisely the thing that paid you. This is the tier where that famous old line about money finally comes true. You've heard it repeated 100 times. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Somebody stuck Einstein's name onto it years ago. He almost certainly never actually said the thing. Down at the bottom of this ladder, that line was a sick joke told directly at your expense. Up here, it's just a flat, boring description of your ordinary Tuesday afternoon. This is the part the affluent understand and the middle never gets told. In a normal brokerage account, every time you sell to lock in a gain, the government clips 15 to 20% of that profit off the top. And the part it clips stops compounding for you forever. Inside a tax-deferred account, nothing gets clipped along the way. The whole gain, including the money that would have gone to taxes, keeps compounding for you, year after year. Over 30 years, that one difference, the tax drag, can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars by itself. The affluent are not smarter than the middle. They just move their money somewhere the machine can't take a bite out of it every year. But there's still a single toll you're paying at this level that the tier above you has erased entirely. The day you finally sell something in order to spend it, the government steps in and takes its cut of the gain. The richest people on the entire ladder found a clean way to simply never sell anything at all. One more jump. Your net worth hits $50 million. And here compounding does something that honestly sounds illegal and somehow completely isn't. You stop selling your assets, full stop. You never want to trigger a tax bill, and you never need the cash, so you just borrow it instead. You walk into a private bank and pledge your stock portfolio as collateral. In return, they hand you a fat line of credit against those shares. The rate they charge you sits lower than what that same portfolio earns for you. You then spend that borrowed money completely tax-free. It buys the second house, the boat, the jet lease, the whole visible life. And not one single dollar of it ever shows up as taxable income. Borrowed money simply isn't income in the eyes of the law. And the entire time, the shares you pledged keep right on compounding, fully untouched, growing faster than the loan is even costing you. Sit with that one for a second. Say your portfolio climbs 8% a year. The loan you took against it costs you maybe 5. That 3-point gap is compounding directly in your favor on money that you borrowed and never once paid back. You are being paid to owe money. And this is not some loophole hiding in the shadows either. One investigation dug into the 25 richest Americans in the country. It found they paid a true tax rate of about 3.5%. Their combined fortunes still grew by tens of billions over those very same years. The main trick was borrowing against their wealth instead of ever selling it. Then one day, eventually, you die. Your heirs inherit the stock, and the tax basis resets as if the shares had been bought brand new that very morning. The loan gets settled out of the estate without any fuss at all. Wall Street even has a name for the whole maneuver: buy, borrow, die. The compounding never stopped once. The tax bill never actually arrived. And that same daily interest line, the one that slowly bled you at the very bottom, now runs the complete opposite way. At the top of the ladder, you stop fighting compound interest. It goes to work for you instead, like an employee who never sleeps. So climb all the way back down to that phone glowing in the dark. It's 11:52 at night again, the same banking app, the same little line at the bottom you never bother to read. For most people watching this, that line still says interest charged. $1 here, $3 there, leaving the account while you sleep right through it. It feels far too small to ever really matter. That is the exact reason it works as well as it does. The current stays gentle, and it never once stops moving against you. But somewhere higher up this ladder, that identical line turns green. Same daily interest, same machine, same math that spent years grinding against you. It just happens to point the other direction now. The force itself never changed at all. The only thing that moved was you. You climbed to a different spot in front of the same machine, and it started paying you instead of charging you. Compound interest was never really the prize for being clever with your money. It was always the scoreboard for which side of it you reached, and for how early you first started walking toward it. You've got your own version of that exact line running tonight, right now, while you sleep. The only question that truly matters is which direction it's pointing.